What's up, Rockstars? I finally have this. This is the Injustice Gods Among Us Kickstarter that they did for DC, the deck building game. One of my favorite games to play with the family. I'll probably talk around that as we unbox it, but I'm really excited to see what this Kickstarter had in store, so let's just dive right in. Alright, so as an FYI, this will look a little bit different than you. I got this from my friend of the local gaming store, Phoenix Fire Games. They're right near kind of where I live in Meridian, Idaho. And it was great to kind of actually back this through them. I actually did both. I backed some on my own. That's where these came in. And the actual retail pledge, they did, and I was actually able to save some money. Essentially paid for one of the expansions, and I got to support a local store, so it was a win-win. I got everything. They actually tried to contact me, and they had my wife's old phone number. She's really big there. She's the one that just signed up for their like rewards program and stuff like that. So I didn't get this until just now. So I've had this for a while. I've been playing these. This was actually the last one I did, the DC Metal one. But we're going to dive into the Kickstarter stuff. Now this is the Injustice. This is the Multiverse box, the new one. Then we also have the Bombshells little crossover box. We have a Rivals deck of Flash and Reverse Flash and the Super Villain Playmat. Now, Phoenix Fire went and actually numbered these. Or just go in the order that they did it. How about that? That sounds like something that I can do. So let's go ahead, clear out some room. Oh, and I found my little royal rod here. So yeah, be expecting a lot of use of that as we look at these cards. No minis, but there are some cool stuff for sure. Let's zoom in a little bit here. There we go. I think that's probably good. And let's dive right in. I'm excited for this. Every single version of DC, the deck building game, plays differently. It is a deck building game, so like you use cards to get better cards and clear cards out of your deck and just try to make a better deck. But they offer, I don't know where that came from, a lot of stuff. Like this Injustice thing acts more like the Injustice video game where, oh, that's funny they did that. Oh, that's cool, look at that. Where you're fighting really against another person. And the Metal one, you're actually all trying to like save Batman's kidnapped and your team can get captured and stuff like that. And so each one plays differently. This one I'm super excited for. It's got a lot of Kickstarter exclusives plus a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in. First of all, the box itself, it's a normal box, but I do like the shininess that they put on the front and back. You can see that better now that it's actually out of the wrapping there. Looks nice. I love the darkness of it too. That's great. Let's see what else we have in store. So inside, normal box here. Pretty much normal. It's actually a little bit thicker than normal, I would say. This is actually, for a card game, this is actually really good. Keeps its structure, I think, fairly well, fairly thick. The glue job looks really nice on it, nice and straight. You can see a little bit of like a glue line here. But other than that, this is actually pretty good. It does look like it will show scuffs fairly well, so treat it nice. But quite happy with it. That looks great, especially for a game that will come to retail as well, if it's not already. I don't know exactly when that is. Now, this is probably the thickest rulebook I have seen for DC deck building. One of the great things is that I can explain it in 5 minutes. We can get to playing. I know my kids appreciate that as well, or anybody new that plays it. You can just kind of pick it up and go. Each version, again, is a little bit different, so you read the differences, you know, how weakness cards work or something like that. This is definitely the biggest one I have seen. That's because it's quite different, right? So you actually, this is the normal thing, the lineup, the main deck, the stack that you have here. Where you have your kick, in this case a flying kick, and you have your super villains and weakness. Normally the villain goes in the middle, at least it did in the last one I played, so it's whatever. But this is new, right, where you get like a power meter and KOs and stuff like that. So that would be kind of cool. Yeah, it does look quite different with meter burn and stuff like that. Definitely like the game. I was just playing Injustice 2. Just beat it for the second time, actually. That's a really fun game. It was free on the PlayStation Plus, like Premium or Extra or whatever the heck that is. And then they have the stuff here as well. The Hero Edition is pretty cool. That was the one thing that they couldn't pick. My understanding is they had to do the villain one, which is fine. That's okay. I still dig it. But that was kind of the difference, I think, in the retail version. They didn't really get to pick. Otherwise, yeah, save some money. Help support local gaming. I think it's pretty cool. Big tokens. I wasn't expecting them to be that big. Like look, that's the symbol, and yet the token's that big. That's kind of interesting. See, I mean, it's the same size as that, but instead they're these little green ones. Attacker may draw a card. Oh, so I wonder if this is like, oh, okay. Looks like minus 3 points, and they get to do something too, and you get to see what you do after you KO somebody. The thickness-wise, I would say this is really thick, actually, like thicker than a lot of tokens. That is really, really thick and super appreciated. That's really nice. It is a little rough on the sides. It's not like super smooth or anything, so the cut is slightly rough, or the like glue job is a little rough. It's hard to tell what I'm touching there, but I do feel a little bit of a... Yeah, it's not really a lot of dust coming off or anything like that, so that's good. Squishiness is actually not much at all. I would think with it being this thick, it'd be really squishy. It's probably about normal, maybe a little bit better. Honestly, I'm quite happy. Just the thickness alone is really appreciated here. I'm trying to see how many layers it is. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers there. Tags are almost non-existent. Like there's not really a whole lot of tag you're seeing there, right? Quite nice. That's great. I do see this. So often this will happen. A little bit of the white kind of dust that typically like stops happening more, so you'll get kind of a more even coating around it, but it does mean that these will look played after a while, right? So this is like signifying I've played this game a few times, I love it, I get it off my shelf and play it all the time, which is a good thing, but it will kind of look played, right? You'll get that little white ring on the back side of it. The front side is kind of where it pushes down, and you can see a little bit of that flaking off there, I think. But otherwise, this is not even like hanging on the tags. This is, I'm actually impressed. I really am. I kind of went into this expecting more of a retail experience, but even this board isn't very bendy. This is better than most Kickstarters I get. Like Cryptozoic Games did a great job here on this. Like this is really nice. And I'd be a lot happier if more of these premium Kickstarters spent a little bit more on their cardboard. I'm looking at you, come on. I'm not able to like peel it or anything like that. When you saw when I unboxed Bloodborne, I was able to like rip off like a whole sheet of it. None of that. This is actually really good. Very impressive. Well, that's a good start. That's really nice. I dig that. I realized I didn't comment too much on the rulebook like I normally do. You will see that I did not see an index. So there's no index here. It is 15 pages. So a lot of people would say, well, there's not really a need for an index. And while I would probably agree that I probably wouldn't use it playing as much as I have, this could be somebody's first DC deck building game, so they might reference it more. Additionally, if it's a smaller book, it's an easier index to do, right? That just makes it easier. You can still do an index. That would definitely be appreciated. Otherwise, I do like the call out boxes and the kind of the little examples there. I don't think there's ever like a turn order example. I think that can help a lot just to see like, here's a typical play. Like, you know, you do this and you do that, especially when it comes to like laying down the cards and when they leave the line and stuff like that. That can be kind of confusing for new people, I think, but otherwise really cool. I love the artwork, by the way. The Injustice comics, I have year 1, 2, and 3, so definitely. In fact, I don't even know if I finished 3 buying them. They weren't quite out all the way at the time, so I need to get caught up. So no spoilers. But yeah, this is cool. I don't know if this is used or not. I imagine so, or they wouldn't have punched it out. Just kind of a plain little thing. I like the little gradient. It's a little bit yellower on the inside and then it goes orange on the outside. That's nice. Yeah, these are awesome. So it does come with a storage tray. Fancy that. And in fact, notice there's a lot of room here to organize. I normally use this to put the like starting cards that you get. You get 10 cards at the start typically, unless this one's different. Also came with baggies. Guys, I'm like legit impressed by a lot of this. This is nice. The baggies have the little holes in there, so they'll let air escape so they won't puff out even as well. Another baggie for tokens or whatnot. You can put stuff in here and put cards in here, put cards in here. And it looks like it supports sleeves as well. And another baggie, definitely something I support is sleeving these because you do end up shuffling them quite a bit. But yeah, ton of cards here. We'll look through that. I'm just impressed. This is actually really nice. Even this tray, you hear a little bit of plastic kind of give. It's not the thickest, but it's really snug in the box, so it's not really moving around a whole lot. In fact, like while there's some bend there, it's thick enough of a wall to where it's not deforming or crinkling or anything like that. If we look at these here, oh man, look at that, so much stuff. All right, well we'll take everything out. That's the box. That's kind of your storage solution there. You can put stuff in there all willy-nilly. Looking at this, dual layer boards as well. That's very nice. And again, this is solid, thick. It's not bendy. Really, really nice there. I do see, you zoom in a little bit more. Now we're on components here. Okay, that's probably good. I do see some like stuff in here. Do you see that? A little bit of cleanup that it might prevent something from laying flat unless it's clean. Do you kind of see that? It's almost like glue and a little bit of cardboard fraying like mixed. So you might need to clean that out if something isn't quite in there all the way. That being said, all these numbers are centered. That is very hard to do. Not always the case. It's very hard sometimes to line these up perfectly. So they did great on there. The back is just Injustice Gods Among Us. And then you can see the different meters here where your little cubes, was the thing we'll get to, would go into. Plus a little reminder of how to play right there, and a reminder right there that you get a KO. And as you can see, it supports up to 4 players in the base game there, so that's cool to see. Yeah, that's very nice. I dig that. I dig that. Now here, it looks like, let's see, Arena. Let's see what this is. Let's see. Oh, that's exciting. So it looks like you have the this is, I think, the version you would get out of Kickstarters. You would have something like this. It's just one of their normal cards. It feels like one of their cards, just bigger. Still quite good. It doesn't really keep too much of a bend, so that's kind of nice. But definitely the dual layer board is definitely better there. But this is what you would get otherwise. So I'm actually glad I got the dual layer boards. The arenas here, this looks like fun. This is, again, where you would like be fighting right in the game. So you have the Hall of Justice, you have the Watchtower. You'll see here they have different things you can do. Like you can mess with the computer to charge your meter, or the fountain here you can heal to, or there's a drone that deals 3 unavoidable damage to the foe attacked this turn, or the statue can reduce a card's cost, so you can kind of use each one different. Each one's a little bit unique there. That's really cool to see. I really dig this. That's awesome. A lot of variety here. Let's see. Each one has, no, that one has 3. So they definitely have, yeah, the other one I looked at had 3 too. Pig! Target focus. What the heck? Is Pig in there? Professor Pig? I think Pig is with a Y. So I don't know what the pig thing's all about. I believe Professor Pig's with a Y. Anyway, that's those. Let's go ahead. I think there's like a freaking jet fighter going overhead. And look at these cubes a little bit. They're definitely small, that's for sure. They did include it in a resealable bag. And there is a little silica packet in there for the wood, which is actually kind of important. I think this goes here, like this. I think that's how you would do that. And then you have this, depending on your color, right? There's 4 of each. And that goes all the way down to 10. That's your second bar right in the game. And then eventually to 0. And they do have a 0. It's not ending in 1 and then goes like off the board. It's in 0. So that's kind of cool to see. I appreciate little touches like that. These are really tiny though. Would have been nice to maybe have that a little bit bigger, just because, I don't know, it gets a little finicky with your fingers. I'm just gonna throw that packet right in there. Again, all the bags have this little hole in it, so they'll stay flat. They won't puff up. So that is cool. We'll move that aside. It looks like we have this is a separator card for the Multiverse box. We'll look at that and kind of what that entails in a little bit here. But this will denote, hey, this is the Injustice expansion. Because while the box is super cool, I'm going to put it all in that one box. I'll probably keep the Injustice box, and it might be useful for something else, or as I keep expanding the game, I can include that, so I can kind of keep it around. But this is for the Multiverse box, and all the cards would go like behind it like that to denote that that's there. And this is like a nice plastic card kind of thing. It's all shiny, and the colors actually, as you can see, really deep. So really good there. All right, I think now all we have are the big cards and the little cards. Let's do big cards first because they're cool. Looks like we got some foils in here, some of the Kickstarter exclusive stuff like that. Let's go ahead and look. Oh, those small tokens that I was doing at the beginning, that would replace the wood that I got, the little wooden pegs and stuff. That's what that is. And actually, we're going to clean up a little bit here. Okay, so it does look like there's definitely a bend. You can see the bend here, but like significantly. I don't even have to show you that. Some of that is foil. In fact, are these all foil? These are all foil, so that's why. So foil cards, when they're like this, as you can kind of see the whole... actually, it looks like... So it's this style. that they do, where like the whole thing is kind of shiny, but they definitely popped him out, which is actually really cool to see. So it's just this background that is that. So see, this isn't a foil either, so it's right there. But what they do there is they actually have a thin like metal foil layer in there, and that tends to curl. Especially over time, so you'll get that. Again, sleeves can help with that a lot, and you will be shuffling these often when you deal them out. So that's kind of where that is. But let's go ahead and take a look. I really did that. Definitely a lot of wording here. They have meter burn and stuff like that here. They'll all be labeled Injustice and whatnot. But yeah, all these foil ones. I love how the character isn't. That's super cool to see. It really makes them stand out, like, to a really good degree. And they put Injustice in front of the name of each version too, which is also cool. That is an awesome Superman card. That's great. This is obviously at the point where Flash is a superhero and not a supervillain per se. The Joker from Earth 1, that's important to note because of the story. I won't say more on that. Great looking Wonder Woman with the armor there. I love that. Love the golden armor. Okay, yep, so see, we have the Yellow Lantern Hal Jordan in this one. So I'm kind of getting a sense of where this takes place. It looks like perhaps towards the end of the first Injustice. There's Shazam as well. Again, kind of telling me the timeline here. This is year 1, which is cool. That means they could do an Injustice 2. That'd be awesome to see. I'd support that. Catwoman, Killer Frost, Raven. I love the purple electricity there. I'm glad they included the purple in there. That's cool. Now this is cool. This is the Kickstarter backer. This is one of the last things they did, I believe. Each time you buy a card from the lineup, reveal the top card of the main deck. If it has a cost greater than the card you bought, add it to the lineup and add +1 power. Kind of interesting, and it's cool that it's like, hey, this is like you, essentially. A Kickstarter backer is the superhero. That's cute. I dig that. That's awesome. And then we have Sinestro, and we have the Batman Who Laughs. Super cool to see. I dig it. Love the Batman Who Laughs. All right, so that is that. Those are super cool. We'll do a quick look out here. Let's go and this will be very quick, so let's do this one. This randomizer, again, it's to support the Multiverse box mode. The Multiverse box, the storage box, it comes with some cards and rules, and what it allows you to do is kind of like, essentially you don't know what you're going to play. You're like, we want to play DC deck building, and we don't want to pick the crossover. We don't want to have to pick the box or whatever, and so instead you have this randomizer that you kind of loot all these, and you're like, oh, we're playing Injustice, and it'll say kind of what you're doing here, which is really kind of cool to see. Like in the Multiverse, you're doing all these different things. So you have Heavy Punch instead of Punch. It has a +1 power, which is a normal punch, but this has Attack, deal 2 damage to target foe, so a lot more attacks. 2 times in starter deck. Very cool to see. Then you have your Vulnerability. Also has a 2x in starter deck. It's 0, on everything. It's just there to muck up your cards, really. Though other cards can work in that. We have Defend cards by default, which is also very cool. You can discard this card to avoid an attack. That's very neat to see. I really dig that. Then you have Flying Kick. That'll probably be your 3-cost card. That'll do +2 power. In case you draw like a whole bunch of high-level ones, you can always have this, and it'll deal 2 damage to target foe. Very cool to see. I dig that. So the villains you're going to see are the Injustice, the Joker. It's probably the first one you deal with. I bet it's labeled like that, but we will see. Then you have Shazam. You have Ares. You have Black Adam and Lex Luthor as a supervillain. And then you have Doomsday. And then for a superhero, you have Aquaman, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. Oh, look, smiling Superman. Here are your weakness cards. This one is a little bit different. Return this card to the stack if destroyed. Take 1 unavoidable damage and return this card to the stack. So it just kind of hurts you and then goes away by the looks of it. And even if you destroy these out of your deck for whatever reason, it just goes back in there. That's pretty normal, so you don't run out of weakness cards. Those are always available. Now this is cool. Super moves. Arsenal Assault for Green Arrow. It looks like it takes 5 meter to do, and you do all this special stuff on it. That's very cool to see. I love the fact that it's the same basic game, and you understand how to play it, but then they kind of add new flavors each time. Very enjoyable. Keep things fresh. You can replay this all the time. Beware My Power, Justice Javelin, Kryptonian Crush. Let's Be Serious. That's the Joker. I dig that. That is a bad scene. That's no good. Mallet Bomb. Then you have Speed the Zone, The Dark Knight. That's so cool. That's great. That was one of the, I think the graphic novel volumes had that as a cover. Then The Power of Nth, the Nth Metal. Then you have these clashes. So in the game, you can essentially clash and then, like, essentially give some meter to get a bonus. You either heal or do damage. This is for impossible mode, where you do this. Overload, ambush. Each players may meter burn 1, avoid this card's damage. Each player reveals and draws the top card of their deck. The foe to their right deals damage to you equal to the cost of the card you drew. Very interesting. So you have a whole bunch of these. Looks like each one's a little bit different. That's neat. And then you have a superhero here, level 4, so you get to level up. That's Injustice Batman. Injustice Superman level 4. And then Sinestro's Might way over the back here. And then, again, that randomizer. Okay, well, there was a lot more in there than I thought. A lot of the Injustice-specific cards when it comes to, like, mechanics and stuff. Now, why these are separate, I don't know. So let's go ahead and take a look. It looks like it has an easy open, which, again, I appreciate that. Though, easy open for most people and me are maybe perhaps a little bit different. Looks like it's right here. Come on. Come on. Come to Papa. Easy open in quotes. Really just depends. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's do this. Careful. Careful. Okay. Let's do this then. Come on. There we are. All right, we'll get through this together. Big monkey brain smart. Use the tool. All right. This is a little... Oh, no, super move. I was thinking it was a location. It looks kind of similar, but more super moves for this. And it looks like they match the game as well, so that's kind of cool to see. I dig that. But it's also comic book as well. 9 lives, and we got equipment. Okay, energy shield. Very cool. I really like the art of Injustice. I like the style that they did on that. It's almost cel-shaded in a way, in a really good way. Injustice Bizarro, that's fun. Victor Zsasz, he's no fun. Huntress, Batwoman, Captain Atom, Green Lantern. Looks like, again, look at the cost of these. 11, 9, right? Very expensive. 10, another 11. Lobo's only 9. What? Oh, that's a level 2 Lobo. The Spectre, Trigon, Darkseid, of course. And we have light punch. Oh, interesting. So we have light punches here as well, and heavy punches. Very interesting. More vulnerabilities, more defense. And it looks like different art for it as well. Oh, very interesting. More vulnerabilities, more defense, and Beast Boy. I wonder why it was ordered that way. I wonder if this was also Kickstarter exclusive, like these are the unlocks or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Seems like a lot, so I can't quite remember. And that's like alternate art and stuff that you can have too. Yeah, don't know. Either way, very cool. I'll have to organize all this, of course. Right now, we're just going to make a stack. All right, we got one more here, and it looks like, again, it has that easy open, but this is so big, it also has the fold, and I think I'll just do it that way and play it safe. Safe as in I'm not going to waste a lot of your guys' time opening it, but we will see. Spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. There we go. All right. Ta-da! Ugh, I'll get out of here. All right. All right, we're going to cut this in half a little bit, a half-ish. Okay, so you'll have to shuffle this to start out with, obviously, anyway, because the repeats are in a row as well. That is a giant freaking mallet, my goodness. Chattering Teeth, Batarangs, Grapnel Launcher, 5U93 R-Pill. That's important. Essentially makes everybody as strong as Superman. That way everybody can fight everybody. And it's not just like a landslide Superman win, right? That's the point there. Sword and Shield, very cool. The Atom is in here. Black Canary, Batgirl, Cyborg, Deathstroke without his mask. That's cool to see. I dig that. Got Nightwing. Nightwing's one of my favorite. Zatanna, also really like her. They need to make a Zatanna movie. Black Lightning, Martian Manhunter. Very cool to see him like that. That's awesome. Swamp Thing. And then we have superpowers. Like Mind Games is a superpower, huh? Okay, if you say so. Well, it looks like a lot of this are attacking. Does a lot more attack and defense and meter burn and stuff like that. Very cool to see. Heat Vision, yes, of course. Nice. Okay, we have this other half here. And then we're all done with the new expansion. Super strength, yes. Very cool, very cool. What is that, like a 4? Yeah, okay. +3 power, successfully attack a foe this turn. +2 power, very nice. Looking for some of the expensive ones. Let's see. I haven't been paying attention to there. This is the Regime Soldiers for Superman. Injustice Atom Smasher. He's a 5. That's Injustice Cyborg. Justice Deathstroke. Parasite. Bane. Man, they got some deep cuts in here too. Raven. I mean, Injustice is wild, the comic. They have everybody. Solomon Grundy. Giganta. Aquaman, and some more light punches. A whole bunch of light punches. My goodness, are you punching everybody? That's it, guys. That is this one. Now, I'm going to go ahead and keep this out because I want to put it in the Injustice box. So I'm not going to actually put it back in the storage. Not the Injustice box, the Multiverse box. But it does come with all of the stuff, which is still super cool. And we're going to put the lid back on this. I'll be curious to see what the token situation is. So we'll see that. All right, that was 1. That's 4. Where's 2? 2 is the rifles. Very fun. This is also another new one. Love Flash, Reverse Flash. Just in time for the movie too, so that kind of works. Not just in time, I guess it's a little bit early, but that's all right. I don't think Reverse Flash is in this movie, though, so we won't be seeing that. But you saw it in the CW show plenty, so you got a lot of it there as well. I'm going to open that up. Now, this also is the Kickstarter edition, so just note that. In fact, if we look on the back here, let me do that first. It'll say here what the Kickstarter exclusives are. So you get foil added to 6 character cards, and foil added to 12 speedster cards. Plus, we have 5 Kickstarter cards that are unique as well. So otherwise, everything else is the same. It looks like, and again, this is telling you bullet point. This is how this is different. Really appreciate that. And these are like it's meant to be played like this. So that'll be super cool to see as well. In fact, does it say a player count or anything like that in here? It should, I would think. Not that I see, really. Standalone game, but compatible with other games. Yep, yeah, okay. But I don't see any, like, player recommendation. It is part of the 10th anniversary to show it there as well. Super cool. All right. Typical, right? It's going to make it seem bigger than it is. That's very common. It just the way these expansion things work, I think. This is closer to what you would normally expect as a rule book for one of the expansions. Again, no index. I don't think any of them have had that. All of these rules are free online. So when you get them, like you can get them like this, just put them in there because you don't need the box. And you don't even have to pay for the rule book. They're just online for you. Yeah, see, like there's the confrontations and stuff like that. But it says how to combine them, which is kind of cool. I see that. Otherwise, normal call-outs, stuff like that, bullet points, kind of the typical stuff. It's not a super complex game, so you don't have to worry too much about that. And look at this. Because you have decks now, there's no supervillains because you're just fighting each other. That's cool. That's cool to see. Let's take a look at that. So here, again, is that separator card, right? Just like the Injustice one, to show that, hey, that's where this expansion is. Kind of see that right there. Same thing there. Okay. What's interesting here, I look at this. There's only a copyright on one side. The other side doesn't have that. So this is the cooler side. That's what you're telling me. Okay. Again, with that curve from the foil, that tends to happen. And that's why a lot of people don't like the foil, because it will curve the cards. When it's done like this, it depends on, there's many ways to do foil. But this kind, which is probably the most common, and I think the cheapest as well. I'm not saying these are, cheap or anything. Just this technology, I think, is really straightforward with it, and it tends to curl. I think probably the most. Looks great though. I love it. I'm glad it's not the whole thing shiny. Instead, it is kind of like a background versus not. So super cool to see that. And then you have the 3 reverse flash level 1, 2, and 3. So you get to keep leveling up. That's cool to see. Take that, take that. Got the deck of cards here. We will open that up. All right. And it looks like probably, okay, yep. So again, I don't know. It looks like, let's take that. Okay, so you got punch. A lot of those +1 punches. You have 2 different versions for the 2 different flashes. You got vulnerability and vulnerability. There they are there. And you have these super speed cards, which replace your kick cards by the looks of it. Very cool. And you have these weakness cards, which again will look a little bit different. This is the third rival. This is Rivals 3 instead of like Reverse Flash. Just kind of counts. There's the randomizer card, right? And then, so we'll separate that. We have some of these here. We have location cards. That's what I thought the superpowers were. Villain, superpower, villain, superpower. These, I believe, are the Kickstarter exclusive stuff, because then we also have some foil cards here as well. Impulse, XS, Jesse Quick, Kid Flash, Max Mercury, The Flash, the original, Kid Flash, good old Wally West, Negative Flash, Reverse Flash, then we have Godspeed, the Black Flash, and Zoom. So that's cool to see. That's awesome. And again, I think these look great. Like, that's just fun. Okay, so that's that. Then for the normal cards, we have these right here. And I believe, see the little symbol here? See, now that's both. I wonder if you have any dark ones, or if it's, yeah, and then you have just regular dark ones there. I'm assuming that plays off things as well. Iris West, Frost, Vibe, Firestorm, the good old Trickster. Mark Hamill played that in the CW. That's pretty cool. I kind of played him like the Joker, though, but that's all right. It's kind of what he is. Girder, Golden Glider, Mirror Master. Mirror Master is super cool. I dig Mirror Master. I think, honestly, the Flash probably has the second best rogue gallery in DC. Batman's obviously number one, but I really like the rogue gallery Gorilla Grodd of the Flash. I think he does very well. Definitely second place for me. Speed Force, Flash Ring. In fact, I'd probably put him third overall. I mean, Spider-Man's rogue gallery is also really good. And then X-Men's pretty good too. I'd probably put them, actually, I think maybe a little bit under Flash. For me, it probably goes Batman, and then it goes Spider-Man, Flash, and then X-Men after that. X-Men's such a broad stroke on that, though, too. It's kind of hard to just limit it. I dig it. These look cool. I mean, I'm loving the different feel and style of each one. Yeah, super cool. All right. That's that one. Another one down. They're going to go quick now. All right, here's number 3. This will be the Bombshells. Uh-oh, got a little bit of damage there, as you can see, probably from the box. I didn't pull it out of the box. The store already had it open. So, and this doesn't look like it's necessarily the easiest to open. It looks like. Probably want to open. Is there no way to like open this without breaking it? Is that just what you do here? Kickstarter exclusive. So you get 1 Kickstarter oversized character, 5 Kickstarter cards, foil added to all character cards, and the packaging. The packaging is damaged. Oh no, and a sticker on it. Why'd they do that? It's all right. Bummer that I don't really see a way to open this without, like, there's no, like, it's all glued. I guess from the bottom, perhaps. Probably the best way to do it. Normally you would for the top, but it actually goes up. So this is like, I would have to separate these two, which I don't really feel comfortable. I mean, maybe. Maybe I do anyway if it's already, no, I'd rather that. I think I'm going to do this. I don't want to break it, guys. Why would you do this? Don't make me do this. Okay, looks like that's not too bad. Maybe I just do that. Oh, it pains my heart. I'm sorry. Okay, maybe I can do it this way. Do a little, oh, see, this seems dangerous now. So we should continue. If I don't live through this, guys, just know that I appreciate every single one of you. You guys have been a great community to be around. And if I die, I'll miss you. All right, whatever. We're just gonna, what a mess. What a disaster. My goodness, why would you do that? Really? Really? That's what you're going to do to me? Yeah, exclusive packaging. I don't think it survived. Whatever. It's all going to go in the box anyway, right? There we go. Okay, and we got an empty box. Boop. All right, there's, again, that separator. Really glad to see that because I just destroyed that box. So that'll be useful to see. I'm going to take it out so I can use it. Come on. Come on. You can do it. There we go. I believe the Multiverse box comes with some that didn't, like the separators, if the box didn't come with it originally, so that even if you have it, you'll kind of always have it, if that makes sense. All right, now this is also a common thing here. I'll show you this. So for little things like this, they'll offer you this, and this is literally rules, new rules, bombshell attack. Specific card clarifications already built onto it like that. So this is essentially your rulebook. Very cool to see, and I've kept all of those because of that. All right, and then there again is the foil with the character kind of out here. I love the different font that they did on this. That's kind of cool to see. We got Wonder Woman, we got Santana, we got Mara, we got Batwoman, we got Stargirl, Supergirl, and Commander Waller. Very cool to see. That's awesome. I dig that. Yeah, that's a different darkness. Look at that. Comparatively, doesn't that look different? That looks closer to the same. So it's like it's over here. It's just darker. I wonder if that's all. No, it's just legit darker. Don't know how I feel about that. Wonder if that's the extra card again. I doubt it. Not the Wonder Woman one. I'm not sure what the extra one was. All right, so we got that. Got the rules. And then here's the little decks. Again, you get the randomizer. Very nice to see. I love how all of these can be combined and all that. I mean, there are so many different ways to play this game. And so far, I've pretty much enjoyed them all. It's not super complex. You get to make lots of decisions. Some fun things happen. You can customize a lot too, thanks to it not being digital, right? So like one of the things you can do is you can customize the length of the game by how many villains or heroes you're going against. That's super useful because sometimes it'll be kind of after dinner and it'll be kind of like we had a late dinner or whatever, and it's like, hey, we still want to play, so we can actually just customize it, make it shorter, still complete a game, or make it shorter if there's more people, or larger if there's more people. Often, if it's just like 2 players, you want less cards because it takes you longer to get that. Otherwise, there's a higher chance somebody's going to be able to get it. Yeah, love the art style. Just super cool to see. Looks like a variety of art styles too. Those are just fun. Look at Catwoman there. That's awesome. I dig it. Very cool. Bubblegum with a little rocket. That's fantastic. They're kind of done like a 50s pinup style kind of thing. And we have the locations. And again, that text is still going through the font. Very cool to see. Love it. Yeah, they're all just kind of like that. That's just fun. The Joker's daughter. Oh, look at her. That's great. That's awesome. So I've not read any of the comics like this, but I do just really dig the style of it. Like, just really cool to see. And then the randomizer. That's it. That's all there is there. I think you can see that bombshell attack keyword bolded there. Okay, so next is this. Now, I'm actually going to do this last because I want to have the playmat kind of there. So let's do the playmat first. We'll do that last and kind of see how that fills out. So we'll probably have to zoom out here. Okay. And let's go ahead. And see, this is how it should have opened. You can always store it in this too. This is a nice little box for it. So that's cool to see. All right. And again, they had a hero version on this as well, I believe. I think the hero version is not Kickstarter exclusive. Am I right there? Do I remember correct? It's been a while. It's not stitched. It does seem fairly thick, and the color on it is fantastic. Wow. Like, really good color. Like, that looks great. I'm digging that. It's a little curled there from that first inner one that's probably a little bit tighter, but otherwise, you can see you do the lineup here, your deck plus 5, and then, you know, your kicks, your weaknesses, and your supervillains, superheroes, whatever it is you're fighting against, whatever it is you're doing. There are game modes that do different things, so there is that. But for now, this is what we got. Okay. Let's go and do that. Oh, and of course, the neoprene, very thick. I do dig that. But yeah, you might get a little bit of fraying over time, but this is just kind of sit in the middle. It's not really what you're playing on, so it's not too bad there. Shouldn't get too scuffed up. Let's see on the back. So you can see it shows it here. It does have the Kickstarter exclusive. It has 10 Kickstarter standard cards, 2 location cards and the cover art itself. This box here is unique. So that's kind of the difference there. Otherwise, everything else is kind of normal. So you get a whole bunch of randomizer cards and different things to kind of use it. So this is really cool to see. It says here, note, not all these cards and dividers come with the Multiverse box. This is a render that shows like your complete collection, because obviously it doesn't come with like Forever Evil and stuff like that. All right, let's go and open her up. Da, 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 da. There we are. Okay, so it is a very, very pretty box here. Like the art on it looks really good. You can hear it's got that matte finish to it. It is a little kind of odd where it's like there's a box, but then there's this angle here. So you see this kind of angle framing it all. And normally that looks good. On this corner right there, you can kind of see it's maybe a little dented in. You know, like this was pressed in too much. You can almost do that with the whole thing instead of like pulled tight. So right here, there's nothing. It's just pulled over that. So that happened. Glue here isn't quite at the corner. It looks like there's a little bit of like extra glue or a bend right here. You can kind of see that right there. Overall though, this looks great. And especially from the front, like that just looks really solid. It's thick cardboard too. I can feel that now. We'll go and take a look at that, which is good because I imagine this gets really heavy with a lot of cards. Ugh. Okay, a little bit hard to come in. You almost need a little hole there or something like that. You can see how thick this is. Super thick, and that's for a good reason. Oh, this is like, oh shoot, what is it called? It's a type of like plastic. You would see shop signs made out of that. That's what that feels like. In fact, I think that's what it is. I'm not even sure this is cardboard. It's like this plastic. Maybe it's cardboard. Because this doesn't quite seem as thick as this. This is really thick. It's not really squishy at all. And I want to say it may be plastic, actually, which is really cool and smart. Love the black, though. I've got to say, I do dig that. The glue job looks good and even across them all. I'm not seeing any bad glue that's going to catch or anything like that. Very cool to see them. I mean, between the tokens and this, like I've been impressed. There is a little bit of a flap here. See where that didn't quite glue down all the way. I might have to get some glue stick on that to get it down there. Okay, so here's the Multiverse rulebook, and the reason you have that is because this will tell you kind of how to set up the game and kind of work through. And as you can see, there's various things you're doing here to play in the Multiverse with. My understanding, I believe, is as many as you want. There's some things here, like keywords here, like rescue. That's from the metal one, right? So a whole lot of different references where I think you can just have that, reference that back, and then get pretty much everything you need. For the most part, that'd be kind of nice. So here we have some more, and look at this. This is kind of interesting. So this is, maybe it's a Kickstarter versus non-Kickstarter version, but look at the difference in thickness. Do you see what I was talking about with that? Where like this is really thick and really impressive. This is much more what I had expected. Where it's much more bendy, right, and a lot skinnier. The tags are definitely, you can feel them, but you don't really see them actually. That's not too bad at all. So I do dig that. It is on both sides here. So it's printed on both. You do see a little bit of like peel there, but not too bad. But yeah, this is definitely a lot skinnier. You cannot interact with players on the other side of the source wall. Interesting, interesting, interesting. But these still work. They're more normal, right? I would call these normal, whereas the other ones were really kind of above average in an impressive way. So we're going to want to move this to the side and take a look at what we have here. So we got some foam spacers. So if you don't have all of the cards that you need, they won't jostle around because you have these to kind of help with that. Now, they won't solve all your problems here, right? You still kind of need a certain amount, but there's a little bit there. Looks like we get some deck boxes. They're tuck boxes, and I hate tuck boxes, so that won't work out too well, but you can keep some things in here. I'm not sure exactly what you would keep in here. Maybe they're just for tokens. I bet that's what it is you just dump tokens in there. I bet that's what they're expecting there, because I don't see any other place to really put them. These will definitely get worn out, these tuck boxes. I don't like the style of them. So it looks like here we have these. I'll put those back in there. And that's, unfortunately, you will have to put them in bags probably and then put them in there to separate them a little bit. And then you have a real thick set of this, plus some of the cards, plus this. Let's go ahead and just take a look at all this. See where we're at. All right, so this is oversized superheroes and supervillains. This is where your big cards go, right? That's all that's doing. You just have a whole big old stack of that. And it looks like, this is kind of interesting too. Look at this, too skinny. This is big enough, and this is too skinny. So your bigger cards, this is actually wider than these. So it does need to go in here. Just of note there. All right, what else we got here? All right, here's some bigger location cards. Metropolis, Flashpoint, Gotham City, and it has a multiverse location is what it's calling there. And it has different ways to do different things by the looks of it. And again, everything's tagged multiverse there. Hub City, Earth 2, Dark Multiverse, Injustice Metropolis. That's fun. I want to go to Injustice Metropolis. That's you're going to get sick going there. All right, going from cards to the separate. This is really heavy, by the way, because it's just this thick plastic, really. Got a ton of these. Here's the multiverse-specific cards. All your different randomizers. Various promos. There's quite a few promos that you can get. Weakness cards, kicks, superheroes and villains, starter cards. Then you have some of these older ones here. Birds of Prey, the Rogues Gallery, Watchmen, Legion of Superheroes, the Arrow one from the CW, Justice Society of America, Rivals, Batman vs. Joker. I think that was the first one. Maybe, actually, I think that was the second. Anyway, Crisis. Then you have the other Crisis and the third Crisis one. Those are great. The Teen Titans, Forever Evil, Heroes Unite, and then the original set that you could get as well. So that's all of those. And finally, the last cards here. Come on. Come on. Let's go. It's kind of interesting that the punches and kicks are separate there. You would think you would almost keep it per pack. But I guess that means you can also kind of mix and mash that a little bit too, which would be kind of neat perhaps. All right. Blue Beetle. I really like Blue Beetle. That's a very funny version of him. Dick Grayson. Warlord. Batman from Thomas Wayne Batman. That's a cool one. I dig that. Jay Garrick, Red Sun Superman, fantastic. Alan Scott, Exterminatus, Weapons of Quard, Brainiac Drones, Flashpoint Aquaman, Flashpoint Wonder Woman. So it's a very Flashpoint focused by the looks of it. But we also have the Crime Syndicate, Parallax. Here's Flashpoint. These are different events. 0 Hour, Crisis on Infinite Earth. So this is cool. Infinite Crisis, Futures End, Final Crisis, Kingdom Come, The New 52, Blackest Night. Oh, these are awesome. Rebirth and Convergence. That's cool to see. I dig that. We got Bizarro's World. Look at Square, of course. Moscow, Skateris, Vanishing Point, Follywood, California. What in the world? Okay. Here's a good old Brainiac and Telos. And then you have the randomizer cards for all of these as well, which is cool to see. Count Vertigo, Catman, that's fun. These are awesome. The Question, Batman, and then Brightest Day and Bombshells as well. Super cool to see. All right, guys. Well, that is everything. You see how it goes in there, right? So you got the multiverse, you got their cards, you slot it in there, and then you just have a whole bunch of those. That's what you do. I don't know how much it supports sleeves. I guess it also depends on how many cards you get. But either way, guys, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Bye, guys.